This happened a couple of years ago. We had just moved into a new house. I was getting used to living in a different neighborhood, and it wasn't really easy. One night, my parents weren't home, so I invited my friend over. We were sitting in my room, talking about boys, when my friend said she had to go to the washroom. While she was in the washroom, I went downstairs to go get a snack for us to eat without telling her. As I went downstairs, she came out of the washroom and was stunned I was coming back upstairs. She asked, "How did you leave so quickly when I was just talking to you?" I was shocked. I told her that I had been downstairs and I didn't even talk to her while she was in the bathroom. We both were freaked out, and she told me the voice sounded exactly like mine. That night, when my parents returned home, me and my friend were getting ready to go to bed. We fell asleep at around, I would say 1:30 a.m. The next morning, I awoke and my friend left to go home. I was walking up the stairs. I had this feeling as if someone was following me. I looked back and I saw this dark thing walking behind me, and as it walked after me, its hood came out of nowhere and just became more visible. I ran to my bedroom and locked the door. I told my parents about what had happened. They didn't really believe me. So I asked my mom, who had lived in this house before us, and she told me that this lady and her kids had lived here. She had this worried look on her face. I asked her what had happened, and in a light voice, she said the woman who lived here before had committed suicide in our laundry room. I was terrified. Sometime after that, I went to do my laundry when the door had slammed shut. I was scared to death. I quickly opened the door and ran out of the laundry room. After that day, I never saw anything again until I had to take care of my baby cousin with my friend. We were playing with her in the spare room when she pointed up at the ceiling and started to cry uncontrollably. I ran and got my camera. When I took a picture of where she was pointing, I could see this white, weird shaped thing. We were terrified. After that, I showed my parents the picture, and they invited the priest to bless our house. Ever since that day, I haven't seen a ghost. Thank God, peace and love. Monster in the laundry room. In September 2005, my husband, myself, our 3 children, and of course, the lovable dog, moved into our house. It is a renovated lakefront cottage built in the 1930s in a rural town of upstate New York. We were drawn to the house for its charm and the peaceful lake. But I must say that I did feel a bit uneasy when we first moved in. Within the first few weeks of living there, I experienced some strange happenings. The house is a ranch style with a partially finished basement, an unfinished laundry room, and workshop. There is also a dirt floor, crawl space that you can only access from an outside door. I still can't bring myself to go in there. One night, while carrying a basket of laundry up the basement stairs, the stairwell light flickered out. I tried the light switch at the top of the stairs a few times, but could not get it to work. I told my husband that we needed a new bulb, and when he flicked the switch, the light went on. It happened again the next night, and I made him change the bulb. Well, this flickering continued for a couple of weeks, even after the bulb changed. While this was happening, my dog was also acting bizarre. After I would get up to the top of the stairway, he wouldn't follow me up like he normally would, but instead would sit at the bottom of the stairs and bark at me as if he didn't know me, almost as if he was staring right through me. He did this every day. A short time later, I woke early one morning before my husband left for work and found the front door wide open. Now, I know that I shut and locked the door before going to bed, and when I questioned my husband about it, he denied leaving it open. I decided to mention what was going on to a coworker of mine who had some knowledge of spiritual activity, and she suggested talking to the spirits and asking them to leave. I did, and other strange noises every now and then started to appear. Everything seemed to stop after that though, until last night. We recently finished renovating part of the basement, which is actually ground level because of the grading of the land, and closed off 2 doors that used to give access to the basement from the outside. We made a master bedroom, a bathroom, and my 4-year-old son's bedroom. There's a door from the master that goes into the laundry room, which is in the unfinished part of the basement. Well, my son woke up in the middle of the night last night and climbed in between my husband and I. He had a hard time falling back asleep. After my husband left for work in the morning, my son and I were laying in bed, and he was staring at the open laundry room door. He said, "Mom, when I move close to you, the monster has a sad face, and a very angry one too. But when I move to Daddy's side, the monster smiles." I said, "Where is the monster?" And he replied, "Right there, in the laundry room. He has a white face and red feet, and his head is up to the ceiling. When I move next to you, he gets a mad face." I asked him if the monster talks to him, and he said, "No, but he puts his hand next to his mouth and whispers only at night." He also told me that the monster thinks this is his house. We got out of bed, and I walked towards the laundry room to take a closer look. But my son said, "No, don't go in there. He gets mad." I didn't see anything, so I asked my son to show me where the monster was, but he couldn't look. He seemed terrified. He just said, "Tell him to leave Mom. He freaks me out." We went upstairs, and my son was telling his 10-year-old sister about the monster. She asked if she could show her where he was, so we brought her down to the basement. He came running upstairs a minute later, saying, "Yep, he's still there." His sister couldn't see it. After thinking about this, and what happened when we first moved in, I then remembered that when our next door neighbor came to introduce herself, she mentioned a couple who used to live in our house several owners ago that would always argue and fight. Well, apparently the husband went missing, but that was all she had said. It all seems too coincidental now. I have a feeling it will be a long night. Laundry visitor. I'm sharing this story on behalf of my dad. This experience occurred to him almost 20 years ago, but I was at home asleep at this time in my bedroom upstairs. My dad is originally from Europe, and most of his family still reside over there. The way they lived many years ago is certainly a lot different to how we live now. The toilet was outside. They had to wash all their clothes by hand, in the river, etc. Of course, since then, many things have changed, which is great for them. It was a Saturday morning, and my dad was downstairs in the laundry, sorting out the washing. All of a sudden, from the corner of the room, he saw a white mist appear. It then turned into the apparition of his sister, who had died many years before. He told me by this point, she appeared like a real human. In a soft voice, she said to him, "Dear, look how lucky you are now to have a machine to do your washing, when I had to use my hands in the river." After that moment, she faded into a swirling mist, into a corner of the ceiling, and disappeared. Dad did not even have a chance to say anything to her. He just stood there completely shocked, but certainly not scared. After that moment, he tells me to this day, he could not believe what he had seen, and he felt very at peace with their presence there in front of him. Needless to say, he says he made himself a very strong cup of coffee after that experience. Has anyone had any experience where a loved one who has passed has gone to greet another loved one before they could get a chance to speak in such a manner and respond, before evaporating into the cold air? This all started about 2 years ago. Just like the rest of the house, the laundry room and garage has always given me the creeps. The laundry room is located in a small room in what we call the far garage. We have two car garages, and it is located in the furthest one. This far garage has always been the epicenter for creepiness. One day, I was going out to switch the laundry from washer to dryer, and as I got there, I saw that both the washing machine and dryer lids were open mid-cycle. I just thought, okay, someone came out here looking for something and forgot to close them. I asked my mom and boyfriend if they had been out there. Both said no. Seemed kind of strange. Then, it happened again. Both lids open, mid-cycle, nothing missing. Only this time, I had been home alone the entire time the clothes had been going. This has happened to me maybe 4 or 5 times. It's not that I left them open. The washing machine's lid is located on the top, so it didn't fall open. Plus, they won't start unless the lids are shut, so I didn't forget to shut them. Nothing blatantly scary, just unsettling. I have yet one more story about the experiences I've had in my home, and it really takes the cake on full-out scariness. In another post, I will detail this event. Thanks for reading. The washing machine. Just a short story here, and it is true. I'm not a believer in ghosts, and not an easy guy to scare. But this did the trick. I'll tell you in advance that I don't have an answer to what happened, but would like to hear your thoughts. It's all true and a major puzzle to me. Our top loading washing machine is in the basement. It's a nice basement, not a dark, spooky place. The room has bright lights, and because it's in the basement, There is no way to enter this room from the outside of this house. Okay, here we go. At least half a dozen times in the past year, I've gone done to put the wash into the dryer after the washing time should have long elapsed. Imagine my surprise to find the wash not finished and the top cover of the lid of the washing machine up. The fact that the lid is up means that the washing cycle has not been completed. Each time, I just scratched my head and wondered how this could happen. Just the other day it happened. This time, as I went back into the washroom, I switched on the light and looked to see the top up once again. But this time, I heard something move in the room. It was the sound like a dog would make if you woke him up from sleeping and he just bounced up. And we don't have any pets. The hair on my arms went straight up as I looked around the room, but I never found anything.